It's no secret that people with Down syndrome are not always fully embraced by society. Even in the wealthiest, most advanced parts of the world, prejudice of this kind continues to persist, and doesn't appear to be going anywhere anytime soon. But wherever there is prejudice, there are those who stand up against it, and the following are just some examples of people who have torn down barriers and broken glass ceilings for people with Down syndrome all over the world. Angela Backhiller began her political career in 2011 when she began working at Valladolid City Hall in Spain. Backhiller, a People's Party member, worked as an administrative assistant in City Hall for over 2 years before running for office in 2011. Although Backhiller did not win a seat in that election, finishing 18th out of 17 candidates, she took office 2 years later when Jess Garca Galvin resigned due to a corruption scandal. While some may try to downplay Bachelor's success by pointing out that she did not win the election outright, it should be noted that if people with Down syndrome were allowed to vote in Spain, she very well could have. While there is no outright ban on people with intellectual disabilities voting, people with Down syndrome are usually declared incapable by Spanish courts. Such a ruling, intended to protect them from fraud and exploitation, also revokes their right to vote, making it all the more impressive that Backhiller was able to hold a position when she couldn't even vote for herself. Even in the absence of explicit laws prohibiting them from fully integrating into society, people with Down syndrome face an uphill battle in trying to do so. Colette DeVito discovered this to be true when, despite completing a 3-year cooking program at Clemson University in just 2 years, job interview after job interview was met with polite rejection. Colette, determined to enter the workforce, took her most popular recipe, the amazing cookie, and established Colette's Cookies. Colette began by working with a single grocery store and gradually expanded her clientele, raising her profile with media appearances on CNN, MSNBC, CBS, GMA, BBC, and others, eventually leading to a partnership with Lay's potato chips. Colette now employs 13 people and hopes to use her platform to reduce unemployment and poverty among disabled people. Jamie Brewer, arguably the most famous person on this list, is an actress who many of you will recognize from her prominent and recurring roles in the American Horror Story series. After working in the theater for over a decade, Brewer rose to international prominence when she made her TV debut as Adelaide "Addie" Langdon in the pilot episode of the hit horror show, and she has been a regular fixture ever since. In an interview conducted shortly after Season 1 aired, Brewer said, "The most difficult part of playing Adelaide is learning how to portray someone who isn't always viewed acceptable to her mother and society. This is a new challenge for me." Brewer has worked on a number of TV shows and films since her time on the show, and she is currently set to play Princess Aurora, aka Sleeping Beauty, in a film series that takes old fairy tales and gives the leading ladies more active roles. Marte Wexelsen Goxer, born in Norway in 1982, is a public speaker and disability activist, but she is best known for her work as a writer, specifically, a playwright. Her most well-known work is her adaptation of Cinderella, which is based on her own life and is performed at one of Oslo's most prestigious theaters with live music from the noughties pop band Hello Goodbye. Oxer's work earned her the Norwegian Academy of Literature and Freedom of Expression's Bernsen Prize, and her version of Cinderella was even used as the basis for a scientific study that looked at the differences in attitudes towards disabled actors between adults and children. Judith Scott, 1943 to 2005, had the kind of childhood you'd expect from someone who went on to become a world-renowned artist. Judith's parents refused to acknowledge her condition, which was exacerbated by the fact that she had gone deaf without anyone's knowledge. Judith's twin sister Joyce awoke at 7 years old to find Judith had been taken to a care home, where her undiagnosed deafness meant she was ineligible for any sort of classes at all. Joyce spent much of her life working with children in need after their mother forbade her from visiting Judith. After a 35-year battle, she became Judith's guardian and moved her to another institution. Judith had little interest in any of the creative activities available there for years, until a guest teacher came in to teach a fiber art class. Judith immediately embraced the art form, wrapping various objects in threads and yarn. The director of the institute stated that Judith was learning to speak, implying that her work went far beyond mere aesthetics. Much of her work clearly reflects her childhood loneliness and isolation, with twins being a major theme as well. Judith received her first exhibition after 10 years, which, along with a book about her work, drew the attention and acclaim of the international art community. She was soon the subject of 4 documentaries in 3 languages, and she now has permanent exhibitions in 12 museums in 6 countries. Madeline Stewart is an Australian professional supermodel who was born in 1996. Stewart decided she wanted to be a model after attending a Brisbane fashion show in 2014. Her mother launched an online campaign the following year, which quickly gained traction, resulting in Stewart signing 2 contracts in 1 week. Stewart's career didn't stop there, and she quickly racked up a slew of awards, including walks down the runway at New York Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, and a variety of other weeks and shows around the world. Stewart has also been featured in Vogue and Forbes, and he has 3 times completed the Special Olympics triathlon. Pablo Pineda is an actor and educator best known for being the first European with Down syndrome to earn a university degree, having earned a diploma in teaching as well as a BA in educational psychology. He received the Silver Shell Award for his performance in Yotambian, a film about a university graduate with Down syndrome, at the San Sebastián International Film Festival in 2009. Despite its name, the Silver Shell Award is the festival's top acting prize, and it is one of only 14 Category A film festivals in the world. Pineda was also presented with the Shield of the City by the local mayor upon his return to Malaga. Pineda, who continues to act, aspires to a career in education and is currently working on implementing an international strategy to increase employment opportunities for people with disabilities. Pineda is a frequent guest speaker at universities around the world, has written several books, and has a TED Talk that can be viewed online. Sujit Desai, a musician from Buffalo, New York, graduated from high school with a 4.3 GPA before attending Berkshire Hills Music Academy 2 years later. Desai is capable of playing 7 instruments in total: piano, violin, drums, BB clarinet, bass clarinet, trumpet, and saxophone. 2 documentaries have been made about his achievements, and he has received significant media attention over the years, appearing on shows such as The View, 2020, and The Oprah Winfrey Show, as well as in The Wall Street Journal and New York Times. His most notable achievement thus far has been his 2015 Carnegie Hall performance, for which he received a standing ovation. Needless to say, Desai has a long list of honors to his name, including several Olympic medals. That, along with his musical ability, may have led to his selection to give a solo performance at the 2009 Winter Special Olympics opening ceremony. He currently resides in New York with his wife Carolyn and is attempting to secure a second Carnegie Hall performance. Jim Gaffney held his 9-month-old daughter Karen and blew air in her face in 1977. He briefly submerged her after her lips were closed, hoping to gradually improve her breathing and muscle tone. This outlandish idea proved to be a Moana moment for Karen, who went on to have an incredibly successful career as a swimmer. Karen was the first person with Down syndrome to complete the English Channel relay race, in addition to winning 2 gold medals in the Special Olympics, but her career was just getting started. She has also conquered Boston Harbor, San Francisco Bay, 16 times and counting, Lake Champlain, done Laguerre Harbor, and the Escape from Alcatraz triathlon since crossing the channel. She was the subject of the documentary Crossing Tahoe, A Swimmer's Dream in 2007. Isabella Springmull Tejada grew up following in the footsteps of her grandmother, who was also a designer. Isabella used to make clothes for her dolls as a child, but when she enrolled in a fashion course, she began working on clothes inspired by Guatemalan culture, as well as designs aimed specifically at people with Down syndrome. Springmull held her first major show in 2015, where she sold her entire collection. Her show's success drew international attention, and a second exhibit was quickly set up in Panama. Her momentum grew, and in 2016, her designs were showcased at London Fashion Week, followed by another exhibit in Rome. All of this earned her a spot on the BBC's 100 Women list, an annual compilation of the world's most inspirational and influential women, alongside Alicia Keys, Simone Biles, and Zulika Mandela.